Today we're going to be talking about an imperfect future through the lens of a cyborg anthropologist. We'll detail what cyborg anthropology is, what makes it relevant, and how it might be able to predict our future. Traditional anthropology is defined as the study of humans, human behavior, and societies in the past and present. Similarly, cyborg anthropology is defined as a discipline that studies the interaction between humanity and the technology from an anthropological perspective. Clearly, the difference between the two is technology. More specifically, traditional anthropology focuses on the interactions humans have with other humans, while cyborg anthropology deals with the interactions that humans have with technology. This interaction is unique in that it shows how humans and technology evolve around one another. I chose this topic after only a few minutes of browsing the internet because it seemed extremely interesting to me. I stumbled across a TED Talk given by Amber Case on the matter and was hooked immediately, and I'll talk more about that TED Talk shortly. I've never heard of this concept, which seems extremely bizarre given how much technology is ingrained into our everyday lives. Having said that, I think it is extremely relevant not only in this class, but in the world today in general. Now let's dive into that TED Talk. Case makes numerous claims in her TED Talk that struck me as odd at first, but really made me think about how people, including myself, interact with technology. The first of which claiming that we are now a new species of Homo sapiens due to our vastly evolved actions and interactions. The next point Case made was that technology advancements have moved from an extension of our physical self to an extension of our mental self. She means to say that our inventions have traditionally helped us go faster, jump higher, or expand our physical capabilities. Now we strive to expand our minds by communicating faster, more efficiently, and differently in general. Through this communication, we develop a second online self that we must constantly upkeep and groom on the internet, and specifically our social media. And if we forget to take the time to reflect on the world around us, we aren't making full use of the technology available to us. This reflection led to her own discovery that technology might actually be making us more human instead of less, as many suggest. This brings me to my argument, that technology doesn't rule our lives, it expands them in a way that indeed makes us more human than ever before, by helping us to communicate more. In order to determine whether we are becoming more human, we first need to define what it means to be human. To be human is generally defined as relating to or characteristic of people or human beings. From a cyborg anthropologist's lens, I take this to mean to be human means to interact with one another. It is also important to note I am using human as an adjective, not a noun. Another important thing to note is that in this case, cyborg refers to humans dealing with their technology. A lot of people would argue that technology has hurt our ability to talk and communicate with one another. I would argue it has done the exact opposite through the invention of several devices, none more important than the cell phone. I think what most people mean to say is that people don't interact face to face as much as they used to, and I can see that may be true. However, people have more ways to communicate to more people using their cell phone. A person can talk to anyone in the world at any time within seconds. We can also text, email, or interact with others through social media at any time of the day for as long as we want. Interaction between people comes in many more ways than ever thought possible using technology. It is also interesting to note that people and humans have evolved around the concept of social media for years, including released apps such as Snapchat, FaceTime, Instagram, Facebook, and many others. Further advancements in technology have helped the idea of globalization come to light. Traditionally, this idea refers to companies or organizations, but people also experience this too. People can interact internationally with one another with a phone call, whereas just a couple hundred years ago, which in the span of all time is relatively small, people had to handwrite letters and wait for it to be delivered, which could take months at a time. The easier access for interaction has led to many people discovering how similar other people are to themselves, which further helps people to connect. Quite possibly the best outcome from technology's spawn of globalization is the help or aid and relief that can be shared and provided to others. Helping others and contributing to society are basic human traits that get amplified on the global scale. Through all of the advancements in technology that help us humans to evolve with it, we may be capable of predicting the future by studying the past. Historians have already been doing this for a long time by recognizing patterns and reacting to them. The usefulness of doing this through the eyes of a cyborg anthropologist are virtually the same in principle. By studying how humans have used technology in the past, we are able to do more in the present to have a better future. Though this topic may not paint a grim future like most of the issues on the table, it ultimately depends on the individual and how he or she feels about being a cyborg. I believe it is only a grim future if the advancements in technology are used for bad instead of good. The technology to do more and to be more are coming no matter what we do. The only question left is whether being more human is a good thing or a bad thing.